Smith leads this lap, and based on your votes, the Pizza Hut fan favorite today is, big surprise, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Let's see how he's doing. Running in third. Well, we'll make that fourth, make that fifth. Don't worry, he'll come right back.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good pusher right now. Whoa, a little swapping going on there.
And further back at 17th place, David Reagan and Trevor Bayne. During the last caution, we heard from the 20-year-old rookie about the strategy he wanted to employ in the next green flag run.
I don't know if who I want pushing me here. I'd rather push somebody so I know I can be careful.
I think the 99-43 are going to try to work together, so see what happens with the 6. I'll let you know we'd rather push here.
And Larry, we're looking at a piece of tape, or maybe even a piece of rubber over on the right front corner of the 21 car. You see it right over there. Watch that piece of rubber. It's hung on the hood pin. We're running 190 miles and 195 miles an hour. Watch this thing. It's all of a sudden it's going forward, and he's running 195 miles an hour. But I think that explains why the guy behind is such a good pusher. You lose all the air off the nose of the car behind, and you start pushing that car in front of you. You push that air forward, and the cars go faster.
Yeah, the pressure definitely changes on that nose depending on what configuration you're behind another car.
Regan Smith had a checkup in turn 3, and the Childress Express came through on track 2. Boyer and Burton together again and back into the lead. 26th lead change of the day. The record, 60, was set way back in 1974.
Well, remember, they have to exchange every now and then. The guy running in second, the pusher, he's got to get some air into his radiator after several laps, or he'll melt the engine down. So these passes and changes of the position are pretty orchestrated. That's why you need to talk to the guy you're running with.
You know, Clint Boyer has finished 4th in the last 2 Daytona 500s, and Mike and Darrell, I can't help but think in 2003 he caught the eye of Richard Childress at an ARCA race in Nashville. He's from Kansas. He was working on his dirt car. He got a phone call from Richard Childress. He almost didn't take the call because he thought one of his friends was playing a trick on him.
From body shop worker to the leader of the Daytona 500, Kansas, Clint Boyer. Out in front. Seventh caution of the day. This one for Travis Kvapil. Pit road's open. Steve.
Fuel only for Clint Boyer last time, Mike. Right sides this time. Matt?
Right side tires as well, Steve, for the 31 of Jeff Burton. They're going to top him off with Sunoco, Krista.
Matt, the call is also 2 tires for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is fired up on the radio. Dick?
And Keselowski is taking 4 tires. He's been fast all day. Has run up front the entire race.
Dale Jr., Clint Boyer lead the race off pit road, although Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin did not make pit stops under this caution. Here's what happened. Travis Kvapil, who turned Richardson around for the last caution, gets up out of the groove, knocks the Long John and the Silver off the right side of his car.
Had all the look that a right front tire was going down on that car.
Good point. Time for an AT&T race break. Down to Chris.
Thanks, Mike. Dale Earnhardt Jr. hanging in there. Remember, from the back of the pack near the front. And when he was asked earlier where do you want to be at the end of the race, he said, I'll be second, and then, of course, cross the finish line first. Long way to go, but Jr. hanging in there as Jeff Burton is currently your leader. 150,000 fans gathering for the running of the Daytona 500, and on lap 3 went silent as fans remembered Dale Earnhardt. Now, the first caution, Kyle Busch hit by Michael Waltrip, spun out. He's been complaining on the radio about the style. Kevin Harvick had engine problems. And here we're looking at Jeff Gordon, who ran into Robbie Gordon. He was complaining about some reckless driving. And on lap 29, an early big one, 15 cars involved. Waltrip, the owner of the 00 car with Rudiman, creates the wreck. Among those involved Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson back out on the track, but certainly having an effect on those competing for the Daytona 500 championship. But with Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers in the Hollywood Hotel, the pace of what we've seen so far with 27 lead changes and 14 different leaders and a lot of activity early, taking some drivers out of at least their chance of winning this race.
Yeah, Chris, and so far what we're seeing, I think more than anything else, is guys not showing any kind of patience at all. They got fast race cars, but they were so afraid
afraid of what they saw, you know, during the 150s on Thursday, that I got to go. I got to find me a dance partner. I think everybody's kind of like gotten a frenzy. Now after the big one, everybody seems like they're willing to settle down and realize we do have a long way to go to the end of this 500-mile race.
I know you've been listening to the radio chatter. We'll keep an eye on that. It's been tough to follow. And drivers talking to drivers and crew chiefs as well. Remember, next Sunday, we'll be out at Phoenix. That's noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern for the second race of this season, post-Daytona 500. See who survives this one for the Subway Fresh Fit 500. All right, fans, time for an AT&T Fastest Pit Crew update. We'll take a look to see which teams have been fastest on pit road today, how it compares to how you, the fans, have voted.
Yeah, this right here is going to be something we're going to be watching all year long, so you get an opportunity to call in and vote for your favorite team. But at the end of the day, I might have a little something to say about that.
All 4 Richard Childress cars have led today, and 3 of the 4 Hendrick cars involved in that wreck. So Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Rick Hendrick lone hope of pulling this one out, at least at this point. Let's rejoin Darrell, Larry, and Mike. This has been an AT&T race break.
Thanks, Chris. Matt Kenseth gets the free pass on this caution. He's now back on the lead lap. The mega teams, Hendrick, Childress, Roush, Gibbs, they've all been hurt with these caution flags, but 3 of the 2-car teams are up in that front pack intact. Both the Ganassi cars, Montoya and McMurray, both of the Penske cars, Keselowski and Busch, both of the Stewart-Haas cars, Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman, continue to run unscathed. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV, as we get set to go green at lap 79. Dale Earnhardt Jr. on point. Casey Kane behind him. Bowyer and Burton hooking up on the low side. We're back under green.
Junior and Kane been working really good together. They've closed on that front group of Bowyer and Burton a couple of times. Wasn't able to get by them, but they got a good shot this time as they drag off into turn 1.
Casey Kane will be Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s teammate in 2012, moving over to Hendrick Motorsports. This is a 1-year stop-off at Red Bull Racing for Casey.
And they've got help from behind with McMurray and Montoya giving him a little extra draft.
Folks at home, if you don't know a lot about our sport, and I'm thinking millions of you do, Dale Jr. just took the lead. And the place has gone wild.
NASCAR's most popular driver years and years in a row. Dale Jr. is going to come across and lead the Daytona 500 for the second time today. Still on the lead lap and still in contention. Junior won the pole, crashed in practice, so he had to go to a backup car, and he started this race 43rd last. He now leads.
You know, for a while there on restrictor plate tracks, Daytona and Talladega, we called him the Pied Piper. Follow me, I'm the Pied Piper, and everyone has or did. It's good to see him back up there leading the race today. I felt comfortable that he could get to the lead eventually. He's got a good race car.
You know, we listened to radio transmission from the Ganassi drivers, Montoya and McMurray earlier. It just takes them a little bit to get hooked up in the right way. On the restart there, you see them on the high side fighting for the lead.
Now, a couple cars that have been working together at the front of the field, Kurt Busch and Regan Smith, both spent some extra time on pit road under that caution. Matt and Steve can fill us in.
Mike, it's been a full day of issues for Busch as he's now pushing the 78 of Smith. Earlier slid through the pits. Then he had a vibration thinking that a possible brake issue that he experienced in practice had come back. And then when they pitted the car, they saw a huge hole in the nose. They repaired half of it, sent him back out, brought Busch back, and then screwed in a piece of aluminum and then covered it with a huge piece of black bear bond tape. You can see that aluminum, Steve.
Matt, issues for Regan Smith in that 78 as well. He had to come down pit road again. He had a side flap for a cowl opening that had broken. The team had to tape that down as well. He lost a lot of positions.
There's so much turbulence, and these two guys have really figured this transfer out. You're going to lose some time, but you're trying to make it a minimum as you can. But look at the difference in the speeds. That's just from changing from the swapping the positions, front to first to second.
When you make that swap, your time for that lap goes up by 1.5 seconds, and that's an eternity at these speeds.
But some of these things that are breaking on these race cars, body parts and stuff, That's how much turbulence and how much air is being blown around these race cars at over 200 miles an hour.
Coming to the line, Army strong, Ryan Newman. Past winner of the 500 with help from Joey Logano. Newman out front. He is the 16th different leader of this race.
What's amazing, go back to Michigan in August. These two guys were nose to nose, fist to fist after the race. Here they're helping each other in the Daytona 500.
What do you call it, Darrell? Co-opetition?
That's all it is, buddy. Find somebody that'll help you, and you don't care who it is. You have no enemies right now. Everybody's your friend, and you want to keep it that way until the end. All bets are off. 2 to go. Every man for himself. But right now, come on, buddy, help me.
In the 2 big races so far this weekend, whoever has led right here coming off turn 4 was not the leader at the checkered flag.
Yeah, I heard guys, they said it a couple of times. Yesterday in the Bud shootout, I felt like I was a setting duck. And it seems like off of turn 4 now to the start-finish line, guy in the front is a setting duck.
And one of the fellows who said that was Ryan Newman. Dick Berggren.
Although chassis and handling seems not to be a factor for the majority of drivers, it has become a factor for Joey Logano, currently running right behind Ryan Newman. His car has been unstable and loose all day. Nevertheless, he's up front in second position.
And you have to, you know, it's unstable. It's uncomfortable. Dude, you're running 200 miles an hour.
Now, where are Logano's teammates? They're kind of back there a ways. We'll catch up on Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch when we come back to the great American race on Fox.